Hey everybody, welcome back to Random Rants with Brooklyn. I'm your host, Brooklyn. Today's random rant will be about my opinions as an author, because that's the thing that you guys most voted on, and by most, I mean one person actually voted on the poll. I have so much I should be doing right now, but I'm doing my podcast first so I can get it over with. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Labor Day weekend, or whatever you're listening, whatever's going on right now. Let's jump into the rant for today. I can't speak right now. Anyway, so let's start off with a dodgy topic for readers and people who enjoy movies, is killing off a character, because let's just start off with the fact that I'm an author, a reader, and an actress, and someone who enjoys movies. So whenever I watch a movie, I try to put myself in the mindset of like just a person who's enjoying it. But when I'm justifying authors for their actions, I can put myself into the author's point of view. One of the things is, if they kill off a character that like people actually like, it has a purpose behind it. They didn't just do that to be mean. And I'm thinking of several characters right now that people did that to. There's a lot of authors that come to mind when it comes to that sort of stuff, but there's usually a lesson, a reason, or just an accomplishment. But in my mindset, if I kill a character off in my book and like it's a character people like and they're really sad about it, it's almost like a mini accomplishment for me, because it means that like I reached the audience properly, and it also has a significance in the plot line for me. So that's one thing that like helps as an author when it comes to that sort of a thing. But another thing is, moving on from killing off a character that people usually like and stuff, is depending on the plot like of a person, I get really annoyed when authors think that the plot is all that matters. Like, obviously a good plot is nice and stuff, but like a really good character base and build up is what I really enjoy. And when I'm reading stuff, I can feel like, oh yeah, that's great, your characters have depth, but the plot is also really good. And like usually if the plot's like just a basic plot, I love when characters have the depth. But if a plot and the characters are like terrible, I'm gonna be like, yeah, no. But if I'm reading a book as an author, I get my information from other authors. Like, my inspiration is from authors, songs, movies, stuff that I've read, watched, or listened to. And I appreciate it when other authors do the same thing, is like they give credit to other authors they got inspiration from, but they also have their own writing style. But what was I saying? I had a train of thought and I lost it. Oh, my, blah, blah, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, when people try to like base their characters in a very basic way, like I'm seeing people post online. I'm not trying to be like hateful or anything, but as an author, when I see people post online about like, I'm a young author, like I'm a young teen author, blah 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 blah, and they like post their like what their plot is, it's usually very basic. Like the character's super traumatized, and it's usually very similar traumatization, if you know what I mean. The plot's very, very similar. Usually a young girl or boy who's like the chosen one, the only one who can save them. They can usually be like really good at fighting, or like really shy but super overpowered, all this sort of stuff. It annoys me because they're like, oh, I'm a young teen author. I'm like, no, you're not. You're the most basic teen author I've ever met. Like, I've met other authors who are young like me, and their plots are completely different from that. They like have their own original plot ideas, own original characters and stuff. And like also those names that those teen authors that I'm talking about that like that are unoriginal and like not even really like they're bragging about it, but like it's like, I am a real teen author and I know other teen authors, and we're like actually good at that sort of stuff. Like we come up with our own thing. Like I'm not trying to like be narcissistic or anything, but I'm just saying like we actually try and put time and effort into like the like originality of our stuff. We come up with our own plots, we come up with our own character development. Like for me, I have background for all of my characters. Even if those information is never going to be in the book, I still put it. I still know it as a person so that I know like the depth of my characters and stuff. And like the names of those people are usually like of the characters of the people who are like think they're like super cool and original, but are really the most basic unoriginal teen authors I've ever like heard of. Their character names are usually like Jem or Ivory or Kai or Kyle or Carson or Jack or Jeffrey or whatever. I'm trying to just come up with really random. They're either really, really, really basic names, or they're really, really, really unique names that are like the most main character sounding name I've ever heard. And like the thing I like about my friends and like other young authors or other authors in general is their character names can like have a wide range of variety. Like I've heard of main characters that are like their name is Jack or their name is like Shaniqua. I don't know, that was the first like unique name that popped in my head. I don't even know if that's a real name. If it is, you have a cool name. But like the people I'm reading of, I'm like, these are clearly the most annoying thing, and it gets under my skin because I'm like, there are people out here who actually try, put their time and effort and like skill into their characters, their writing, their plots and everything, and you're out here getting a following fan base for like this plot idea, and I'm just like, whatever. But then another thing is, my opinion as an author is different from most people's opinion as an author. Like, all of our opinions vary. That's what makes us human. And they're unique and special in their own way, but, like, at the same time, we all can agree on certain things. Like, my characters, for my book, I have depth and background for all of them. Like, I know who's related to who originated with who, what the names mean, what their significance is. Like, all this different stuff. And I try to reach my audience by, like, connecting in certain ways. Like, I know the depth of certain things. I know what certain things actually mean. And I know that it can reach some people versus others. And I think it's always best when you have an original idea, even if it's not 100% original, because if we're being completely honest, most ideas aren't 100% original because someone else probably had them. But, like, you know, it's not just like every other person is doing it, so you might as well do it as well. But when I think as an author, I'm thinking, oh, what could this do? What could this, like, take? What can I use to my advantage of this plot? Like, what is something that I can come up with that's unique to me? My writing style is unique to me. That's one thing that authors can do, is, like, have their own writing style, which every author's has their own writing style, which it's kind of ridiculous when people are like, oh, you write just like them. No one writes just like another person. They might have similar writing styles, but that's usually because, 1, you read a lot of their books, 2, you spend a lot of time with them, or 3, you get your inspiration from them. Like, a lot of my writing is from, like, authors like, gosh, my mind's blanking on authors right now. J.K. Rowling, sorry if I butchered that name, Rick Riordan, or I don't know how to pronounce most of the authors' names I read. My mind is blanking. S.E. Hinton, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out authors, but I read a lot of authors, and most of my writing style can come from them, but it doesn't mean my writing style is just like them. All of our writing styles are different, and I can tell that my writing style is similar to how I talk. Like, I will put in, like, sarcastic remarks, or I'll lead up to a point, or I'll just branch off in description because that's what I do as a person. And most of my characters have personality traits like me. When I write in my main characters, a lot of them have, like, similar personalities to me. Like, one of my characters has ADHD, another one has, like, likes to help people just because it makes them, like, I don't know. I realized I completely branched off. I have my notebook somewhere. One of my characters likes to run just for fun, like that. They are not in sports, but they like to run for fun. Some of them pace a lot to like keep themselves motivated, or I don't know why I said motivated, but like, you know what I mean. Like, I try to incorporate my personality into my characters, and that's what a lot of authors do as well. And like, as an author, you have to think what you have to put yourself, for me personally, I put myself into the mind of my audience. Like, how would the audience feel? Like, I have to switch my brain into a reader's perspective and be like, does this sound right to a reader? And it actually ends up making me like rewrite a lot of stuff, because I'm like, the writing style completely changes. It goes from like this cool, serious writing style to like, it sounds like a 7th grader or 5th grader wrote it. I know that was a very large age gap between those two, but like, I try to make sure that my like writing style matches with who I am as a person, and that is one of the opinions of that is one of the ways that I like incorporate my writing style into my book. And another thing as an author is like, it annoys me when people are like, you can't do that. Like, you can't make a name for yourself. Like, what's your backup plan or something? Like, I get that being an author and being in the world of writing and publishing and all that is very risky. And people do need to have like, how are you going to like pay your bills? How are you going to like actually get money and feed yourself and stuff? I get that. But that's not the first response you say to someone who's an author or like in that creative world, because that's immediately going to shut people down. Like, content creators, authors, musicians, writers, I said authors already, actresses, like all those sort of things out there. You don't want to immediately say, what's your backup plan? You should say, oh, that's so cool. Like, try to encourage them before you shut them down. I speak from experience. Most people I've told about like my career as what I'm going to do with my life is like acting and writing. And people are like, oh, so what's your backup plan? It's like, or they go, oh, what are you actually going to do with your life? Like, I know that it's risky, but you don't need to immediately tell me, oh, so what are you actually going to do with your life? Like, what's your backup plan? How are you going to actually do stuff? It's like, so you don't think I can do it. You think it's stupid. And you think all these bad things. Please don't tell me, because that's immediately discouraging. And I get it. The world that, like, that career type of a world, like I said, content creators, writing, acting, musicians, all that sort of stuff, it's a very risky world. Like, when you get into that thing as your actual career, you don't know if it's going to do well or you're going to fail. You don't know if it's going to, like, you don't know if you're going to get by or something's going to flunk. But you have to put yourself out there. It's like the saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like, I get that. But you have to take those shots. But at the same time, you don't need to tell me, oh yeah, what's your backup plan? Like, what are you actually going to do with your life? Because it seems like you have a pretty crappy plan right now. It's like, okay, that sure doesn't make me feel great. Like, I get that it's not the best plan for, like, the long run if I don't do great at first, but you don't need to immediately tell me, yeah, you're gonna fail. It's like, we want to be encouraged. Like, I will encourage people who have very great goals in life. Like, some people want to be a psychiatrist, some people want to be a therapist, other stuff as well. And I'm looking at the audio track and it spiked all of a sudden, so if there's a suddenly loud noise, I apologize for that. I lost my train of thought. Oh, like, I want people to not, I always encourage people like that, and like other people also encourage people like that. So what's the difference? Like, you don't need to warn people immediately who are creative, like, in their rights. You don't need to immediately be like, oh, so what's your actual plan? Like, I get it. It's a risky type of a career. It's a risky career world out there. But, like, you don't need to immediately say the risks. Like, instead, like, why is there a difference between people who choose, like, a solid thing, like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a, like, physician, or I want to be a weather reporter, I guess. Why is there a difference between people who have, like, a creative career choice versus people who don't? Like, I don't understand that. That's one thing as an author that I don't, like, I feel like applies to a lot of people who have a career choice like that, similar to like just a creative career choice, but like I don't understand why it's different, and that sometimes gets under my skin for me. But then also, my mind is blanking again. Another opinion of my as an author is it's always great when people say they like your writing or you're really talented, but it's even more when people say I like what you've written. Like, I like your writing and you're talented is different, in my opinion, is different than I like your character build up. I like your plot. I love the actual content that you've written. But I like your writing and you're talented is very different from those things. Because you feel like you're accomplished, in my opinion. I feel like I'm accomplished when someone says, oh, I like the actual content you've written and the characters you've written because they like actually have meaning and depth. Versus, oh, you're talented. That can mean a lot of things. Like, people who are creative writers are different than people who are nonfiction writers. But yeah, that's kind of all for this one. But thank you for listening to this podcast. I don't actually have my script today. So you guys, no, I do have my script today. You guys are going to get the scripted part. I need to rewrite this. It's very basic. But yeah, I hope you liked this little random episode. I know that I didn't give you guys much time to vote on the polls. But I'm going to leave that up so that I can find out what you guys want for future rants. Hopefully we will be getting guests on the podcast. I'm trying to. Thank you for sparing your time and ears to listen to Random Rants with Brooklyn. Hope to have you come back and listen again soon. If you have any suggestions for future rant requests or improvement ideas, let me know. Thanks and goodbye. Have a wonderful day, guys.